Good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to have a little bit of everything. We're going to start out with breaking down some ETFs. Then we're going to go into individual stocks, whether I look to play options on this or debit spreads or cash covered puts, covered calls, or just buying straight shares. So sit back, relax, grab your notepad and a pen, and let's get to the watch list for this week. First up, it's going to be SPY, everyone's favorite. We saw today that it tried to push back up, got rejected by this candle right here. Mind you, we have a gap to fill right below. We are teetering over the 9-day moving average. I'm looking for this to break down 542 area and push down to the gap area of, I think the gap starts at 540, goes all the way down to 537. Right now I have some debit spreads, some put debit spreads on SPY for the end of the week, and my spread is 540 to 535. So I'm hoping we can get this pushed down. It's not a drastic move. You see the RSI is curling over. Went from overbought. The MACD is still showing some good momentum, but for right now, that's what we're looking at. In this area right here, 530, it's an area of significance that I have marked, but ultimately looking for the gap fill. QQQ is kind of the same thing, except we saw tech sell off harder than the other indexes today in relation to the S&P 500 and the Dow. Tech was the leading loser today, and we got the break below the 9-day moving average on some volume. Same thing with the RSI. I'm looking for this gap to fill from 471 down to 467. I actually have in the money debit or at the money debit spreads at the time I bought these. It was 475, 474 put debit spreads for the end of the week. Now that we got that down, let's go ahead and go into my stocks. Sitting here looking at American Airlines, there's two ways that I would like to play this. We see that the RSI right here, okay, that's the low that we got, right? Now, as we're posting new lows, we got some divergence. See the MACD starting to curl. Those are all good signs. But it also kind of looks like a descending triangle here pattern. And not the cleanest setup, but what is the cleanest setup when it comes to patterns? They're all subjective. What I'm looking to do here is twofold. I'm looking to sell cash covered puts, probably sell like the $10 puts for 45 days, 60 days out. But also, if we get a break below basically 1111, look to take puts down there. Another one on my radar today, I actually took a position here, is AMD. AMD, we're seeing it, follow this trend line down recently. That blue line right there is the 50-day moving average. We've gotten rejected off of that. Also, the 9-day moving average has crossed over the 21 back here, so we're in bearish territory. You did have the MACD kind of cross over the zero line, but now it's starting to curl back over. You had the RSI try to give some strength on this big day right here that we had. But I'm not seeing any signs of life yet. What I am seeing is if you zoom in to probably like the 30-minute, right? Look at that rejection off that line. So what I'm doing here is I got into the 157 puts for the end of the week, looking to ride this down. I think we're currently up 80% on that call. The next one is just something to watch here. Nothing crazy. Very basic technical analysis here. Just Amazon. The price action has been riding the EMAs. So honestly, just looking for it to break over this 192. Looking for it to finally break out to this top side. Finally make a move and shake off all the haters. BAC and WCF are kind of the same, but Bank of America, we've gotten rejected at 440 basically twice. I'm still looking for it to push up there. I got these alerts set. Anything over 435, I'm looking to take this name long. Next, we're going to go into Citigroup. Citigroup's an interesting one. We recently saw it just struggle to get back over the 50-day moving average. Here you got the trend line break. You got the break over the 50-day moving average, and you got some decent volume. RSI is starting to curl. Looks like the MACD wants to curl, but we're still in bearish territory there. I would look for a continuation move above $62 to be safe, but just something to keep on your radar. Something to keep on your radar. Now, I don't know if you guys saw my other video, but BTC is melting. We're looking to capitalize on that, even though it bounced in the earlier session. It is now at 61,352. Earlier, when we took a starter position, it was at 59.3. I still got my very, very small starter position on BTC short, but where we're going with coin, is why we're going to play this one. You've gotten the meltdown here, and it it always follows the price of BTC. So with BTC falling down, if there's one of two things I could see here, okay? Since BTC rallied end of day into the later evening session, it's 1 a.m. right now, Eastern Standard Time for me, at the time of this video, by the way. 230.50 is where the 50-day moving average is on the daily. I would look for that to be a significant point of resistance if we do get a pullback on coin in the morning with the pullback on Bitcoin. But you got the EMA cross, RSI is showing bearish, MACD's posted a lower high, and it's looking to curl over and go back down. Ultimately, we would like to see this under, let's say, the 200 number. 200 whole number would be great right here. I don't really want to stretch it and go down to like 194. I don't think that's necessary. I think the $200 whole number is what you need to eye here, and we'll just look for weakness, and this could run down to 178. It just depends on what Bitcoin does. So watch both of those names closely. If you want to know what's going on with Bitcoin and where my analysis is, check out my other videos. Next on our list is going to be FTX. Kind of the same thing like we talked about before with these trend line breaks. You saw that when we got this consolidation down here and we started bottoming out, I'd say. You got some divergence on the RSI that's starting to curl. MACD curled. Got the trend line break. The 9's about to cross the 21. And then you also got the price action recovered over the 50-day moving average. Another thing to note here is that the 50-day moving average is above the 200-day moving average. That is a very bullish sign. And, we could look to keep playing this. I could see this going back up to 270 conservatively, and even maybe running back up to the top right there where it's at 290, 291. So set alerts over the recent high. GS is kind of the same thing. I know I had this on our radar to kind of take this short last week. If it were to break down underneath the 50-day moving average, but it ended up recovering, and we're breaking this trend line. So anything over 463 tomorrow, 465, I would look to take that long. Tesla is another one of my favorites here, okay? What I'm looking at here is I've plotted this. I know we got this outlier. I think I had this on my watch list last week, and I posted a little chart about Tesla. We've been in this channel forever, and now we're getting rejection here. It might be worth it to play maybe some calendars. Maybe, sell the 170s for the end of July and then buy the 170s for the end of September or something. Gives you a little bit of time. I think that this will melt down, and then you can collect that premium off the 170, or just play some put debit spreads. Just go a little far out time wise. Give yourself 60 days. Maybe buy the 160, 155 puts. Probably cheap. Pick them up for nothing and just watch this fucker melt. Right. Let's see. Next is a name that's been on fire. Recently had a stock split, just like Nvidia. Walmart just posting higher highs, pushing into all-time highs. It looks like it's going into the overbought category, but until the fat lady sings, if it goes over 69 tomorrow or 70, even better, take it long. Look to just ride it. I mentioned Wells Fargo earlier. See that trend line break? We recovered the 50-day moving average here. Just look for it to continue over 59.50 tomorrow. Very, very simple here. Let's go back up to the top. I've got those are kind of my option plays, and just taking them long and short. I'm looking at buying shares of ADT. This has recently rallied off of the bottom here and broke out over the most recent high of about 750. So look to accumulate some shares there and ride that bad boy long for a little bit. Price target of about $9 a share there. Caesars. Okay, this is another one that it should have been an option play, I guess. We can look to take this short if it keeps rejecting. If you get the crossover, and you get over 41, 42 bucks. Look to take this long. Look to ride this name up. One for cash covered puts was a popular name. I did this back when it was at $25. Is Intel INTC. Feels weird saying that's like a tongue twister. I would get aggressive and sell the $30 puts, and then I would kind of back that up with 28 20 20 28.50 if you can get it puts. I'm not sure if they sell those or not. Another name that I'm picking up shares wise it's going to be Rig. It's a company I've traded for a long time. They always bounce back and forth. They've kind of come down. This is a good area of consolidation. I'm going to add anything 5 and below. I'm going to add 100 shares a week, basically. As long as it stays under 500, or as long as it stays under $5, I'm going to add about 100 shares every week or every 2 weeks. Another name for just because the premium here on Rig for selling cash covered puts just isn't too entertaining. I'd rather accumulate shares. Now, one thing I am going to sell cash covered puts on is UPST, Upstart. I don't foresee this going below 20. So selling cash covered puts at 20, you can even kind of strangle it. You can buy 500 shares, you can sell cash covered puts at 20, and then honestly have it on the other side where you're selling your covered calls against the shares that you bought. It's almost like a strangle at $30, and just collect a ton of premiums and milk it for what it's worth. If it nukes, then you got some shares at a cheap price. If it takes off, then you get assigned on that and you collect the premiums on the put. It's a win-win. I think that's it for this watch list this week. Try to keep it short and simple. It's gonna probably end up being like a 12-minute video, but I appreciate you guys sticking through it. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave us a comment. Let us know what you think, and follow along if you like this content. We post all this stuff free every Sunday and Monday. We're looking into getting into different watch lists, one for stocks and covered calls, kind of like we did just now. The other one will be for crypto, and then another one I'll probably tie it in with that one, but futures. Right now we're currently in futures. We got a trade on YM and oil, so we'll see how all those turn out. But yeah, thanks for following along, and we'll see you next week.